Hello, welcome to another episode of Game News Podcast. I'm Bren.
I'm Spidey. I've restarted my computer for this. So
Now it's running flawlessly.
Yep. It just needed, and it wasn't even running that bad. It was just like a couple minutes off. Actually, not even a minute. It was like 30 seconds for one thing, and I was like, I'm just got restarted. There's so much crap on this that it's like
It did seem like there was
It
a
had
lot.
to.
I honestly probably should do mine.
Yeah.
Too, because mine also is starting to have a lot of crap on it.
I had to. I mean, even for organizational purposes, if I wanted to do any of the stuff I want to do, it'd be a nightmare. But
We didn't have a podcast
Yeah.
last week, which wasn't my fault.
yeah, that was my fault.
For once, it was this guy
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, it was.
He was socializing. He was out there
Yeah,
socializing.
and it was miserable. All I'm going to say is report back, awful. Literally terrible. Not going to do it again. Honestly, I like let's just say the people that I wanted to hang out with or a person, and I couldn't hang out with them on the weekend. I would have to hang out with them on a weekday, which for me that's terrible. I'd rather do something freaking important on a weekday than just go hang out with someone and be like, hey buddy, let's go hang out on the weekday. That's terrible. I hate that. So no, not again. But anywho, I got some big news. Bad. Okay, so a lot of yes, very bad news. So a lot of people use game engines, big companies, Unreal, Unity, all that stuff. All those engines. Well, Unity is the most popular, and it's made a lot of cool games. You got Fall Guys, you got Granny, which is not that great of a game, but I like it. You got freaking
awesome.
I like it, but it's not like this massive. It's like Fall Guys is massive.
That's true.
You got Among Us, which I could care less about, but Unity. So no one's going to be using Unity anymore for one single reason, and all those games are going to be delisted forever. They will be, because every Unity game on planet Earth is about to be delisted. Because Unity had a CEO who recently came in from EA. An old EA CEO took over the company. This guy, to quote him, he said he wanted there to be charging for games, like per magazine. This is an old story. He's like, if you run out of ammo, we should charge them for reloading ammo in a game. That was his mentality with video games.
He said
yes, that was one of his statements. So
he said he wants to charge us for bullets.
Yes, that's what he wanted to do.
For bullets.
Yes. He does real life money. So
it would have to be the coolest game of all time.
So he said that.
I still wouldn't do it.
No.
That would be okay.
So he said that. So this is his mentality.
Not like where this is going.
So he bought Unity, most popular engine out there.
Did he buy
the whole thing?
So Epic Games sold it?
No, that's Unreal. Thankfully, Unreal's okay. Unity is done for. It's literally dead. So when you release a game, they're going to charge you 20 cents per download or buy. So even pirating. At the time, it was even pirating. So imagine you get a massive game, and thousands, actually no, millions to billions of people, on like the rare chance you get like billions of people who love it, you become bankrupt because they're charging you. Unity is charging you a fee for them getting your game and downloading it onto their computer.
20 cents, right?
Yes, but like that means every user who plays, you're going to get charged over and over and over, and that adds up. That adds up, dude.
So it would take 5 units sold for you to owe.
No, it's just
to owe them $1.
Unity is going to repeatedly do that. So anyone, even reinstalls. If someone reinstalls your game, you're going to get charged for it.
Even if they're how does that?
Yes,
what do you mean?
That they, as in every time you buy the game and you install it. Even if let's say you uninstall a game that's made from Unity, if you reinstall it, it will charge them money.
Even if they're not paying.
Yes.
Again.
Yes. It's not because of fees. They're straight up going to charge for downloads. Even if it's, yeah, straight up downloads. If your money gets to a certain amount of copies, like high.
About that?
Yes! I looked into it. I even checked some reputable YouTuber sources. I looked at Some Ordinary Gamers and stuff, and he knows.
Is there like an article?
Oh, I checked the article, dude. I looked through it. I saw actual Unity developers getting enraged about this. They're all done with Unity. They are straight up delisting their games. So you will never be able to play their games again. They're going to delist their games.
Wait, so what's a good game that's on Unity?
Granny, Fall Guys, so every Granny.
Delist Fall Guys?
Fall Guys. What else is there? Among Us, which I could care less about. Let me look this up. I'm going to look up a list of games made in Unity because there are a ton of them. This is real though, so I'm not using Unity. I never was going to use it anyways. If I ever came back to that, I was never going to use Unity Engine. I'm going to look up games made in Unity because there's like millions of games made in Unity. Like millions. Let me look this up here. Apparently Pokemon Go is made in Unity.
Pokemon Go is so boring anyway.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. But for those that, Genshin Impact and all those anime games and stuff, they're probably that's Marvel Snap. Like
I love Marvel Snap.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they're gonna. This is bad. This is really bad.
You think?
Like, this is terrible. This is terrible. So the reason why I think this is terrible is not just because this happened with Unity. If it happens with anything else, indie games are dead. Unless you want to make your own engine. Which I'm going to be honest, if it came to that and I really wanted to make a game, I would do it. If I really wanted to. Thankfully, fortunately, I'm not that suicidal.
Dude.
But it's terrible.
Okay. So gaming's going in a weird direction.
Yes.
And tying into with what you're saying, people are getting like way too greedy, I feel like companies.
100%.
And they're getting their corporate fingers sunk into our freaking thing that we love so much.
Yeah. They're like
dude, and it's interesting too because I was going to mention stuff about how esports orgs aren't doing so well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which also kind of ties into what you're talking about, where it's like someone's coming in being greedy. People are like, "No way, I'm going to delist my game."
Yep.
It's like, plus AAA games have been total garbage lately.
So all the passion. So everyone's going to have to switch to Epic, which Epic is going to be sailing in money. They're literally going to be.
Thank you, Unity. Thank you.
And honestly, you want me to be honest about Unity? I hate Unity. I hate that engine. It is probably the worst engine I've ever used. I hate it. I am one of those people that never liked it when I started using it. I was like, this is so unintuitive. But it's a big deal because this could affect the entire industry. That's the difference.
Yeah.
It could affect so it's basically what it is some billionaire came in. He's like, "Oh, dude, well, I guarantee I know what happened." He was thinking in his head. I mean, considering what he talked about, he was thinking. EA's assassinated a lot of companies. Okay, they killed Westwood, who made Command and Conquer. They killed. I forget their name. Visceral, Dead Space. Like, they've killed plenty of companies. So I'm starting to wonder if they're not going after like indie games and stuff, indie people.
I mean, dude,
like, it's a good strategy. It is a good strategy to take away like the.
That's what I'm saying. It's very. That's what I'm saying. It's too corporate now, dude.
It is.
Even esports is like, dude, it's failing. It's actually failing.
Well, it's not like any of the corporations are helping it. It's not
The
like
corporations are hurting it, dude.
Are they even
They're hurting
doing
it.
anything
Everybody
for
saw
it?
money bags in their eyes. Just like with this Unity thing. People see, they start seeing dollar signs even though they're already rich. And they're like, let's get more rich because all we think about is money, 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 money,
Yep.
money, money.
And corporations are totally ruining. They're
Yeah,
totally
thanks for
ruining.
killing stuff that we love, you freaking
It's like
douchebag.
you. So a significant amount of people are going to have to stop their games and resume on a new engine. Thankfully, compared to esports, this is in a better shape. This is in better shape though because
Gaming in the sense of people making games, it's never gonna die.
yeah, you have Epic, you have you have Epic Games, you have Unreal, and you not only that, you also have Godot. That's a new engine, completely open source. No company owns it. Nobody's gonna get it. So it's not terrible. It's not in awful shape, but this is
just use assembly, dude.
no. This is a blow.
I'm kidding.
They'll be like, we'll take assembly too. No, they can't do that. But it'll be a blow.
That roller coaster tycoon guy, that's pretty cool.
Why would he? First off, like I said, dude, assembly.
Which makes sense why it could run on potatoes.
Oh, plus trust me, I've seen assembly. It's literally like gibberish. I'm not kidding. Like it's the computer's language. So
That guy was like a genius.
imagine you write code in like C# or Python or Java or whatever. That to get it to the computer, it compiles it to assembly. That's what it does.
That's what compiling is.
Yes.
Is putting it into the computer's language.
So this guy is manually compiling things without a computer.
He's not. So he's even he's just.
He's
like
not actually. He's not even compiling. He's just putting the
He's just
assembly.
writing in the computer's language.
He's just writing assembly out.
No compiling needed. He just.
What?
He just.
Dude, that is the most counterintuitive thing ever.
Yeah, but apparently that's what makes it the most.
Oh yeah, stable, optimal.
Optimized.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
optimized.
It is very
Which
optimized.
Apparently, you can run Roller Coaster Tycoon on certain calculators.
Oh, dude, that's. If I'm gonna be honest,
I know it's an old game, but it's like
yeah.
that's still wild that he did that.
Well, at that point, oh no, I love Zoo Tycoon. I love it, dude. But what I find funny is he put it on a calculator just to prove he could do it, and not only that, if I were them, if I were people who make games, assembly's not terrible. I mean, you could do it. It'd be hard, real hard. Like you'd have to basically become a computer scientist within.
You'd have to be a genius.
You'd literally have to be a computer science major, like actual computer science major, not a C++ like any dude. If you want me to be honest, any wackadoo can sit down and write a C# script.
But couldn't you just use AI to be like, hey, write a script for this in assembly?
Assembly is like...
If it's the computer's language, why couldn't I just tell AI to write it in its language?
Keep in mind that AI was not written in said language, so the AI would have to learn the language. Which... That's like... See, they'd have to program a compiler inside of it to know assembly. That's what you'd have to do. That's what this AI stuff is. Some guy took a bunch of libraries, chucked it into a computer. That's what actually happened. It's not freaking... It doesn't magically just go...
I know how to do this now.
Yeah, no. That's what these people don't understand. The AI does not magically do it. It's the person who programmed it.
But if it has an access library to assembly...
Oh, it'll do it in seconds, dude. But that's like... But those will be like...
Is that how people are going to start coding games now? Is be like,
dude,
hey...
Those are worth like billions of dollars, man. They're going to start putting prices upon it, though. They're going to lock it, dude. Corporations are going to be like, this is our AI. You can't have it. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. It's like an arms race.
They're going to... I guarantee that's going to happen. These people are like, dude, check out these cool AI. The billion-dollar corporation comes in. Hey, can you give us the... Just imagine the scene. They're just sitting in a boardroom. Some billionaire corporation guy comes in. He's like, hey, dude, can I buy your code for your AI and lock it behind a paywall?
Sure can.
And he's like, yep, go ahead. Come on. $1 billion? Yeah.
Dude, you like how I'm flexing my Series S over here, dude?
You're flexing the Series S over there, dude. You're just like, whoosh. Dude, check it out, man. I got the Series S.
Anyway,
You're like,
so yeah, I'm like, dude, check it. I'm rich.
Yeah, rich,
budget,
dude.
budget Xbox.
No. If anyone's flexing, it's our dad with his popcorn machine computer.
Oh yeah.
If anyone's flexing,
Dude,
that's like,
true.
yeah, even I wouldn't want something like that.
That large, yeah, I could use it as a desk.
No, I'd just rather have a small form factor. And anyway, bad. It's bad. What I'm saying is
that is bad.
Really bad.
That is bad. Really, really bad. But on the bright side, if we lose some games, that's really gonna suck.
Oh yeah.
But on a bright side, I don't think they're gonna be able to continue to do that. Like
No.
Start protesting, like it's eventually gonna get revoked.
No, it'll be revoked.
Like eventually they're gonna have to be like, okay, we won't do this.
But the trust has been.
Let's try it and see, and then.
Oh, the trust has been permanently shattered. I've heard so many people say they will never go back. Literally ever.
I'm not saying the damage will be done. I'm just saying, like, eventually they'll.
Or they may. Honestly, I've heard tale that these people might bankrupt the company. Like, it might be over, my man, for Unity. Because so many voices are coming against them, they might have to shut down. Everyone's going, I'm going over here, dude. You know, that's bad publicity. And recently, they've started closing down whole offices in their corporate buildings. So,
boy.
So they're running out of after receiving.
It's not good.
Yeah, dude, they're like
not great.
What they did was literally not great. They killed they took their massive trust, that they built up with other people, which was waning anyways. They were doing some stupid stuff with like cloud gaming crap and stuff.
Classic.
They would promise people cloud gaming features. I guess some people wanted it. Heaven knows why. And they're like, dude, check it out. We can do cloud gaming now. And then I think Unity might have locked it behind a paywall or something. It's just, I don't know. It's stupid. It's dumb. They killed it. Good job. You killed your business.
Thanks, guys.
This isn't the first time this guy has killed like companies. I mean, like I said, Westwood, beloved Command and Conquer studio, dead. Could have made Renegade 2. Renegade was one of their last games, or Generals, and they never got to make Renegade 2. They never got to make Generals 2.
It's annoying.
They died. So
Renegade.
It's not the first time they've killed studios. This is...
Dude, so that's not good.
No.
We got esports in the dumpster.
What's going on with that?
Dude, let me give you a quick synopsis of a few things.
Tell me what's actually happening.
One thing, for starters, is LG. Which I think is Luminosity Gaming. I'm not sure. Their team won the Valorant World Championship. They won the whole big franchise league stuff. They had to drop their whole team afterwards.
Why?
Because they aren't making any money.
Even though they won the whole tournament?
Apparently the players make most of the winnings from that, and the company makes most of like the sponsorship, stuff like that. But they don't have the money to keep the players. So they had to drop their roster. They won Worlds and then had to let the roster go to stay afloat.
You'd think that... Yeah, you'd think that they would come up with a better solution than that. Like, not go the scorched earth approach.
I'll tell you one way. Stop franchising leagues. Okay?
True. Just have
We're not professional sports. Nobody cares about you being like, we're like football.
No.
We don't care.
Like, keep it like it used to be. When it was
You don't want your weird front desk. Have it like Melee, where it's like guys chilling.
It's just
We're there
guys
for the love of the sport.
Yeah, the guys in their basements, at their houses. Remember that, dude? Remember back in the day? It's the same with speedrunning. Now it's a whole event. They got GDQ and all this
GDQ's
stuff.
sick.
and it's cool, but it's
And for
like
charity.
I still miss kind of the simple days when it was just, guys in the basement and esports as
Yeah.
well. Like what happened to that? Even
Well,
LCS was better than
I
that.
yeah. Well, LCS is kind of tanking right now too.
Oh, big surprise.
But,
Get your get
I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a big reset. Basically, they're going to be like, okay, this didn't work, and I don't think esports is going to die. I don't think competitive gaming is going to die. I think this model of competitive gaming is going to die. Like these orgs coming in, spending all this money, you know. I
being
think that all
like,
that's going to change.
let's
Like
hire some
the
random.
franchise, I think they're going to stop franchising because that clearly doesn't work that well here. Because Call of Duty had one of its greatest years recently. Like it's not one of its greatest, but its greatest it's had in a while. But it's like even they still aren't losing money and play are still losing money. Like 100 Thieves, they won world championships in COD last year. They had to drop their entire team as well after winning.
So
These people aren't making enough money to pay for the spot because once it's a franchise spot, you have to pay like way more money to have a spot. And I'm pretty sure some of the numbers I heard was it was like 25 mil to have a spot in CDL, something around there.
so my question is, why did they start doing this? Is the question. Why did they start
Why
thinking
did
this was some
I don't know. It's because it's basically why I thought about it was because it's like tying into what you said with Unity. People
like
people see that there's eyes and money. They're like, oh, people watch this stuff. Oh, there's money here, and they're like, how do we maximize it and make it the most stupid corporate bullcrap thing we possibly can? Oh, we'll franchise it. And Matt is funny because Matt was telling me he thought franchising sucked from the get go, like in the beginning.
oh.
Back then, I was stoked because I was like, dude, more money's coming in. This is awesome because I had these weird delusional dreams that I was going to be a pro or something.
And
Someday.
now it completely fell apart.
And players are making too much money. So what people think are happening is, at least with the Call of Duty League, is there's going to have to be some player cuts, like financial wise, because people are making players are making too much money, depending on what esport you're in. Call of Duty's having the problem where they're like these players are making like some of them making like $1 million a year. Like that's just too much.
So my question is, well, like I said, dude, it's kind of unfortunate because it would have been kind of cool. Like I think franchising is stupid too. Like
But it's like why do you have to make it be something that it's not? Like why do you have to make
yeah,
it be like we have analyst desks and everyone's got to wear suits and have headsets
yeah. The
like you're commentating a football game. Nobody wants
no
that.
no, just go watch football for that stuff if you're gonna do that. It's like
We want
and even football's
commentators.
not that bad.
Yeah, we want commentators that are professional
Yes.
or not professional. We want commentators who are passionate about the game.
Yes, and know
I don't
what the
care if
game
they're
is.
like dressed nice, if they're saying big words. I want them to be
Yes.
passionate. I want them to be
It's become
yeah.
too frou-frou, basically. That's essentially how we boil it down. It's become too fancy and big, and
It's like, oh, like it'll be like, oh, Bud Light, like Bud Light replay. It's like, dude, I don't care. Why is that here? Get it out of my face.
agreed. It's
We don't. I don't care if you go back to having like people sweating in like a convention center that you could barely afford to rent out. Like I don't.
that was
care.
Yeah, dude.
Go back to that.
Dude. Yeah, man. And
That's like
melee.
what melee is.
Yeah,
And in a way, it's one of the best esports to watch right now.
it's still in the spirit of the old days, but that's because Nintendo is not going to support it. Like they're never gonna. And what's funny is, imagine if Nintendo did support it. What if they actually supported Melee?
Well, it depends on what they did. Because if they franchise it, you can lick my balls at that point.
Well, I'd be curious because, well, it would be nice if
If
Nintendo.
you made it, because Nintendo would come in and they'd make it so corporate,
yeah.
just like
They'd
it's
be
not
like,
necessarily-
"Hello, Splatoon 2."
Yeah, they'd be like dabbing on.
Yeah.
Like the thing about it is, I understand from a corporation standpoint. Like first off, they're all greedy, so I'm not like defending it. Like they're greedy, they
No.
want money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I get it. They don't want to. They have to make things more corporate so they don't get in trouble. They don't want to have backlash. It's annoying, but that's what you get for having things be more corporate. Is like now we have to watch what we say and watch what we wear,
Yeah.
and
Well, what I would have
it's like,
done.
dude, what about being like a sweaty gamer?
It's like, bro,
and
this
just
isn't
freaking-
an actual workplace, man. This is games. Don't.
Yeah,
That's a workplace
Yeah,
thing. That's
dude,
not. This
yeah.
isn't an office. That's where it's appropriate. This is not appropriate. This is
Yeah.
not an appropriate place. What I would do, you know what I would do, if I
What?
was in charge.
What would you do right now if you were like?
If I was like,
What would
okay,
you do
so
if you were in charge? Like, what's an esport that you
like let's say I look at Melee as a whole, just
Because
the
Overwatch
whole
League is like
community.
dead. I'm pretty sure Overwatch League just
Oh,
like straight
guaranteed.
up. I'm pretty sure Overwatch League gave their like Blizzard gave the teams in Overwatch League, even this new Overwatch, like Overwatch 2, they gave the professional teams they gave them a check and be like, hey, look, we'll buy out your spot. Just like get out of here, basically.
Like
So
this
they
is a
gave them
sinking
money
ship.
to leave.
This
Yeah,
is a sinking ship. Get out of here.
that's how bad Overwatch 2 did.
This
like,
is what I would do.
competitively.
If let's say I was Nintendo for Melee. Okay, so I would not get involved with it corporately, but I would put some money into it. I would not involve myself in it, but I would be supportive of it. I would be like, well, this advertises our next game. We can get some money from this. We can show these off on some like video or something. We can like have streams of it or something, like live streams on our official channel to get more people to see it, even these like Nintendo normies. And then you know what I'd say? I'd be like, you know what? If these people want to emulate it, who gives a crap? I'd be like, who gives a crap, dude? If they want to emulate it, if they want to practice with all this stuff and do this, I would just give them the dang game. Just give them Melee. There's no reason to keep it under lock and key in your little vault. Just give them the actual game.
Yeah,
Just give them the game. Same with everybody else. Give everybody else the freaking game, and you would be the best video game company out there if you just let them have their fun.
they're just never gonna. That makes okay. That would be cool. That would be really cool.
Like-
if they did.
Pour some money into it, not to the point where you're directly involved into it, but back it with
Yeah.
prize money and stuff. Don't freaking
Yeah, but if they put money behind it and something happens, then they're gonna be like, people are gonna be like, Nintendo, you support this guy and he's a freaking perv or he's a,
That's
which-
gonna be a
because
risk
people are stupid.
anywhere.
People are stupid. Like they can't separate people from the brand. They're
Yeah,
like,
it's like
oh, you sponsored this? That means you support these people. It's like maybe they're just
no.
like, why does one person have to? People are just so stupid these days. People are so dumb, which is part of the reason why corporations have to be so careful. Because people will be like, you don't support this? Oh, you support that? Oh, you did this? Oh, you supported this guy who donated this money to this one time? Oh, well, you are just as bad as him.
It's interesting. Well, dude, they're not even. And you know what's sad about that? It's like, dude, why do you even care about this random minority who gets ticked off by this crap? Why do you even care? Like, just get over it. Stop. These are normies. They don't care about video games. Stop pandering to them. It's not gonna. Ironically, it's gonna make you lose money if you pander them and lose face. So if you ignore them and don't focus on them and go back to the way you used to run things, where you just make consoles and shut up, then
It's kind of like,
then do your thing.
Yeah.
Or oh my gosh, once in a freaking blue moon, you wouldn't say anything about people doing like emulation stuff or doing anything, communities, emulation, content creation. You didn't care about any of this back in the day. You barely blinked an eye at it. But now you're all, whoa, what? Our property's being used by other people?
don't mod it.
Don't mod it. Don't do tournaments. That's illegal. You can't do tournaments. You use Slippy to play online. You can't do that, bro. Your freaking online service sucks.
I don't
So
know
shut
how
up.
it works because sometimes Nintendo lets people use it with a cash prize. I don't know how it works exactly. Like what the deal is. Like what?
What?
I don't know if there's no cash prizes at all right now. I think there is, but
My question is.
I don't know how Nintendo decides. Like, hey, we're shutting this down.
My question is, so you have such a small penis, I'm going to say it, that you can't freaking that you're so insecure that your property is being used and advertised. This is free advertising.
It is.
Why do you think 343 supports freaking modders and people who do tournaments and stuff? Because it's free advertising.
It is.
And it gives them a good name among the community. Dude, those are the lifeblood of the community. That is the lifeblood, not these normies who come in and go, dude, I'm going to play some Slayer. It's the tournament people who come in. It's a multifaceted game. You don't just have one side of the community that you appease. You don't just go to the normies and be like, dude, the guys who will buy the next game immediately after and then forget it. Like, that's not who you appeal to. That's not your audience. They're like, what is a Halo? What is a Smash Bros? That's who they're appealing to. People who don't know what Mario is or Zelda, or they know what Mario is, but they don't like, who's Zelda? Is he from Smash Bros? Or who's Metroid? Is he from Smash Bros? Or who's Earthbound? Like, that's who they're appealing to. It's like, dude, you don't appeal to these people. They're not there, dude. You don't do it. They don't know anything about video games. You should have never appealed to them in the first place, because it's going to ruin your reputation and you're going to lose money. You will lose money. I don't care how corporate and safe you are. You're going to lose money. Controversy is going to come out and you're going to lose money.
It's true.
So get over it.
It's true.
Move forward. Who cares? Stop catering to the Twitter crowd. Seriously. It makes no sense to me why they care. What I would do, like I said, forget about them. Think about the people who actually love this thing. Who actually care about it.
Yeah, who cherish it. Yeah.
Who cherish it. Who don't want to be like, dude, this old game sucks now. That new game come out. That's literally their brain's logic. Yeah. Dude, graphics bad, game bad. Graphics slightly less better than game. Rather have game have hyper-realistic graphics all the time. That's literally who they're appealing to.
Sounds like someone we know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Dude, now you're reminding
me. I just think
that is not.
There's sweat. Unless I could see the sweat beating down there.
Dude, yeah. The second you said that, it took me a second. I was like, oh no. And that's not who you appeal to.
So basically, it's in a dire.
Yeah. So basically, video games right now as a whole kind of suck.
Dire spot. Yeah, AAA games are sucking.
Nintendo
not finished when they released them.
Nintendo reuses the same engines for their games again, and then never actually innovates. They're just like, Breath of the Wild, copy paste on new cart. Ding, ching, money, cha-ching.
They're literally like,
and then people will
know.
They're so protective.
We're basically just like
jaded.
So many more things with esports is happening. Like, so that they had to drop their thing. 100 Thieves had to drop their team, and this is after winning the whole thing.
And haven't these teams been around for like decades?
Sentinels.
A decade, probably.
Sentinels is about to go out of business. Like, that team's about to go out of business. TSM has sold pretty much every team they have, besides Apex, and they just sold their league team. They've been in league since the beginning.
Massive. That's massive.
They literally, they're trying to sell their league team so they can play in like China or like some other more poor like section of the world. Like TSM.
Oh yeah,
was there at the beginning of league the whole time.
Dude. Staple. I remember
Staple.
Them. They were like, you had Bjergsen and stuff, and I remember him.
Yeah.
Everyone there was more people there.
They're Dunzo. Not Dunzo, but basically.
There's a guy named...
They have an Apex team. Their Apex team just won.
There's a guy named Balls.
The World Series. Balls, yeah, he's Cloud9.
They were, Cloud9 and TSM, they were like the big
Cloud9 is one of the few orgs that's profitable still. And Optic is profitable.
Well, also keep in
mind.
But
Optic doesn't just put their. Like, if you're an esports org, you have to be putting out good content and get good content creators, because Optic also puts out content that people want to watch. So they make money on content, they make money on merch.
Yeah,
They've
it's more
built up
stuff.
personality. So like when you're rooting for the team, I'm rooting for Optic because I've watched those guys and like watched their content and been like it's growing up with them basically. Like I've
Yeah,
watched them for so
yeah.
long. They did a good job of like there's a lot of teams that don't do any
Well,
content
they
where
just
you're
kind
like
of they just
you're
kind
just like,
of
oh, here's a player, don't know who this guy is.
you know
Like,
what was
but
nice? They wouldn't freaking moderate their content either back in the day. They would just let them do whatever they did. They would let them stream and not be like constantly watching over them like a boogeyman.
yeah,
Like a
true.
corporate boogeyman going, you shouldn't say this or you shouldn't say that.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm not, I'm a big Optic fan, which my bias is probably showing, but like they're profitable. They're profitable. They've got, they've been successful. And if they weren't successful, would it affect them would they be as popular? Probably not, but I don't know because the way they're putting out it's like they put out content that made you attach to their players. So you're like rooting for those guys because I feel like you know them because I'm seeing them on camera so much. It's like obviously I don't. I'm just saying like you feel like closer to someone in a very distant way because I've seen them a lot, if that makes sense. There are so many teams in the Call of Duty League and other esports where you're like, they're putting anything out with the team. And it's just like, you need to be getting money somewhere. You can't just be, it's kind of like how 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves is probably, even though I don't even know how great, almost all esports orgs are in the red. Most of them aren't making profit. Team Liquid's making profit. Cloud9's making profit. Optic is making profit. There's probably more. Those are the only three that I know for a fact.
Well, those are the
an
three
actual
ones
profit.
that someone's actually freaking heard of. Like
Yeah,
the fact that
TSM,
the
everyone
fact
knows
that
TSM.
yeah, the fact that TSM is in that dire a shape is pretty sad.
It's just like can't be good.
Like I said, dude. Like we were saying, you cannot freaking do it like that, man. You can't franchise. Like this is
Yeah.
don't do it. It's gonna end badly.
And is being an organization really the answer?
No.
Like having esports orgs, like
No.
it's like back in the day. Part of the reason franchising kind of sucks is because you can't see underdog teams, like no-name teams, come up and cream people. Because back in the day, it was fun to watch because randomly you would get a team.
You get teams like Azul.
It wasn't
Frost,
sponsored.
who totally
Yeah, and you're just
cheated.
like, who are these? Well, yeah,
They were good.
you get guys who you're like, who are these guys? And then they dumpster all the pros, and you're like, whoa, that team was incredible. Like,
didn't you
you don't
guys
get
talk
that
about,
anymore because
Renegades? I remember a while, like you and Matt would
Renegades
talk
are
about them,
sponsored.
yeah.
I hated them, but man,
Oh.
loved them.
Mm.
But yeah, so like they used to be able to have underdog teams. There used to be pressure into it, right? So back in the day when League was really fun to watch, when me and Matt used to watch all the time, was they had if you were at the bottom of the team, like if you were at the bottom of the league, you had to do a relegation match. The two worst teams had to play each other, and whoever lost got kicked out. And they brought up a team from the semi-pro. So it's like your spot wasn't safe if you played poorly. So people were way more like, guys, like it was way more serious.
That's
There was
true.
a reason to win.
It's
Now
like,
it's like you pay a bunch of money and you're like, well, you're safe. You're permanently safe. So
yeah, that's pretty lame.
and then people who are lower down in League of Legends have no chance to get up
No.
unless they get picked up by a team. So there's
Yeah.
no reason to be a semi-pro either.
Yeah, that seems now.
That's one thing.
Wow,
that's one thing with franchising.
That's
It sucks.
more worse than I thought, honestly.
Relegation. It was called relegation. We need that back because it made people try harder. I mean, you got some really cool fresh
Look,
teams coming in that sometimes did well.
It trimmed the fat as well.
Yeah. And then you get crazy storylines like, oh my gosh, TSM almost got relegated, which means they'd be in semi-pro. They have to fight their way back up. That stuff is just cool. Like it's cool. Also, you don't get any no-name teams anymore. It used to be in Call of Duty. They'd be like, whoa, who's this like who's these like pink, like who are these pink truffle people? Like what? That's a weird name. Like who are these people? And then they dumpster everyone, and you're like, whoa.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like
Oh dude, I remember the times that TSM were slammed back into semi-pro. I saw some of those games where they were like, dude,
they didn't get put back there, but they were like they were it was close. They were like,
I
oh,
remember there was like a
we're
dark phase there for a while.
yeah. That stuff's cool. That
Yeah.
keeps people watching. You're like, whoa, like, um, and Valorant had it for a while too. I don't even play Valorant. I don't even like Valorant that much, but I watched it some because you'd see these somebody's team would be like snot nosed nerds or something, and they would like be crushing pro fully esports orgs like teams, and I'm like, dude, these are the guys that you want to see. The guys that are tryharding who like would never get a chance to make something of themselves. They put the time in. They grinded. That should be able to pay off.
Oh, agreed.
For like the casual, like the if you can't, esports needs to be open to not even esports. Who cares? Like pro gaming needs to be open to people who like people are like, well, it's much more of a career path now. Like you get, I'm like maybe in the terms of money, but like not in the terms of people actually being able to compete.
Well,
People, there's so many players out there that are really good that like should get their shot, but they don't because there's only so many teams because everything's franchising. I don't want to see that anymore. I want you to be able to be like, you know what? I'm gonna bust my balls and we're gonna enter this tournament. And then if you win, everyone's like, who are these guys? And then you get your shot. I think that you should be able to, like right now, you can't really make your path. You have to get lucky. You have to make connections. What it used to be, it didn't used to be like that. It used to be like
skill.
you get a team, and then you'd be like, okay, put the effort in to get a team. Let's work hard, and then you didn't get handed a path. You used to be able to pave your path. Like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Like now it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, the problem is, like you said, it's been turned into a career when it's a video game. It's like, bro, I understand money being involved is fine, but the problem is
Well, clearly it's not working. It's not working.
Well, the only reason why it's not working is because
current model is not working.
The only reason why it's not working is because these people are shoving their grubby little hands in something that should have never been. Like, and I'm gonna be that way. They're very like they're pretending they're all high and mighty, but they're coming in like their claws are coming in over something that used to be wholesome and fun, and now they're taking it and ripping it away from people. And I think that's kind of that never should happen.
Dude.
That
and no offense, but if you're like, why do you have to buy? Why did 100 Thieves have to buy a compound?
Oh, dude, yeah, the compounds, the
it's
gaming
like,
compound.
You saw John Tron's video on it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, dude.
Even when they did it, even when they bought it, I was like, "What is like? Why?"
8 Shots gaming compound.
You guys are so dumb to put that investment money into a compound. You're so stupid.
He's like, check it out, guys. We got a sensory deprivation pod.
Because they're like, it was sponsored by Cash App, so Cash App probably paid for the whole compound. But it's like, are they going to continue to pay for the compound? I don't know how it works, but could you put that money into like something way better than a compound, a giant compound, where it's like, dude,
how about you pay for advertising the team?
Yeah,
not just a massive compound.
That's what I'm saying. Like, put that money into something different. Like, and even beyond that, it's like, if you're gonna, so you make this compound, then you're like, we're gonna make a content house. It's like, but if your content's trash, and you're not making any money off of it, like, who cares? Like, you're wasting your. Get better people in there. Get better content creators. If you're gonna buy content creators, don't buy these small random people that nobody cares about. Yes, they have some big names, but it's like, no offense, like nobody. I don't want to watch someone like Brooke AB who has like. I watched her stream yesterday. She has like 400 people watching her. Like, nobody cares. Like, if you're gonna do this stuff and pay content creators money, you need to be doing it more smart than throwing money at them and being like, hopefully your audience follows you. It's got to be like,
well,
you get paid per, like, hey, if you come up with a good idea, you get a chunk of money off of that. Or if your following is bringing us in viewers, you'll get a chunk of money. Not just like, we'll pay you. Hopefully it goes well. It's like, 100 Thieves just did poorly.
Well, now
they're still around. The only thing saving them is their clothing line, I feel like.
Now you're making me set down my keyboard. So this is when I get, when I get out of my relaxed position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so get people who are passionate about the game to make content about it.
Yes,
It's literally the easiest. I'm not kidding. It's not that hard to do. Just find someone who enjoys the game.
Yeah.
To do it.
And dude.
Why would you get someone who doesn't care?
And take it. There needs to be some kind of contract. So, why would you take someone that doesn't care? That's true. But it's like, let's say you got sponsored by 100 Thieves is like, dude, we want you to be on 100 Thieves. We want you to be part of the org. You're like, okay, cool. So they pay you money to basically have their logo and stuff on their stream and like be a part of the content, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, okay. Do you actually think that we give a shit? I have to bleep that out. Give a poop. What? Do you actually think we care about what? Sorry, I'm just like really irritated by this, but
I mean, I'm annoyed too. So
do you actually think we give a crap about which person has 100 Thieves at their name? I could care less who sponsors these streamers, and you're stupid for thinking that we would. Unless you're like 10, unless you're talking about the people that the audience that you're targeting that would care about this don't have money.
No.
Which is what you need.
And also,
so either their mommy and daddy are buying your clothes, or, plus they made a golfing. You're gaming. You're a gaming.
Yeah,
company,
that's what I'm saying.
And they made a freaking golfing clothing set recently.
Okay.
Well, because you're going out and golfing, you think we all want to buy 100 Thieves golf clothes? No.
So. Okay.
You old man. What are you, 80?
Now you're making it even worse, John. So Tranquil Seth
recently happened.
Tranquil Seth is a lot worse than Angry Seth. So let me be honest here. You're killing gaming. You're like, this affects gaming as a whole. What they're doing, I think it does. It affects video games as a whole. What they should be doing, like I said, I'm going to repeat it till I'm blue in the face. First off, get good content creators that care about the game, not just some idiot who's going, "Whoa, hoo, LOL XD, random. Hey guys, want to go on my just chatting stream where I sit in my hot tub with these hot girls and I lift weights?" It's like,
but sometimes I know video games though. Sometimes
you don't get.
It's like no one cares, dude.
First off, you don't.
No one cares.
Pardon my French, but you don't get these idiots who don't care. These literal brain dead.
I'm not saying there's some content creators on 100 Thieves that I really like.
Brain dead apes. Ape brain people. Literally just ape brained. Me have sex with person. Me do this. Me get money for mansion. Like, that's all it is. It's not video games. And guess what? Nobody freaking cares. The people that actually care about video games are gone. Now you've just brought in a crowd that doesn't belong. And I'm not even trying to be gatekeepy. If you like video games, watch video games. But if you don't, get out. Seriously, leave. You're making things worse.
Yeah, something about. Yeah,
I didn't mean to.
Dude,
be
I agree with
very.
You. No. I agree with you. It's the same kind of thing where it's like, no one's like, so.
Unbelievable.
I understand there's a lot of kids that like video games, but there's a lot of grown-ups who like video games who are more passionate.
Yes.
That are like, that I don't care about what content creator is in what org. As a matter of fact, unless you're really funny or really good at a game, I don't care what you're doing at all.
No.
And even if you are good at a game, and you're good at even if you are good at a game and you're on a esport or you're on an org, I don't care what org you're on at all. No. I do not care. It's not like I've never bought gaming. I have two things of gaming merch, like actual shirt for like a team. I have an Optic hat, which I almost never wear, but I've been a fan of Optic since I was like a kid. So it's like it took me that long, and I bought this hat like a couple years ago. I'm 32. So it's like right now. So it's like I bought it when I was like 30. So it's like I've been watching you since I was like 16. took me
Good.
that long to buy
Wow.
one thing from
16.
from your guys' company. Like, I'm not that weird of a guy. I think most people don't care about
So
the
you were
merch.
there at the beginning, like the very
maybe
beginning.
maybe it was like a little of that, but yeah, I've been there. I've been at Optic since they've been in COD pretty much. I remember I watched the owner of 100 Thieves, Nade Shot. I watched him play COD for Optic, like back in the day. It was like forever ago. He was working at McDonald's at that time.
Was it like Black Ops 2? Because if that's the case, that was like a golden age, my man.
It might have been before even.
Oh, dude.
I think I watched Modern Warfare 2 or something
Dude.
But anyway,
Oh. Now you're making
it was awesome. I mean, those were the days,
Wow.
dude. Back then it was hype too, but
Now you're making me
it
sad.
was hype. There wasn't even that much money in it, but everybody was like, everybody was so hype about it.
I wish I knew it existed. I would have totally watched it. Now it's just like,
I still watch the CDL, but I basically just watch Optic, and then sometimes I watch 100 Thieves, and that's it.
it's just like, you
But-
have these guys who sit down and talk like they don't know anything about the game. They narrate,
Yeah.
dude, I got this new Bud Light brand toothpaste or whatever. Or
Oh, and I have a T-shirt for Stamina Esports, which is like a mobile gaming organization, which I just bought because like I'm weirdly into mobile gaming, and it's like I wanted to support the scene. I don't really
Yeah.
care about
no,
the orgs.
no,
Like I was just like, oh, this is cool to have like rep this scene because not many people do, at least
And-
in the U.S.
yeah, no, dude. People are like, mobile games? What?
Yeah, which is fine. Like I just think it's
But
like a cool niche
yeah.
that I like. But
I mean, well, I'm gonna be honest. It kind of feels a little more homey than the crap we have now. To be honest, even from a
yeah,
guy who,
it does because you know what it is. It reminds me of old gaming because it's like it's a growing esport.
yeah, and the graphics.
Like it's a growing growing competitive industry
yeah,
right now.
not everything. Well, not everything was so fancy or high tech
Yeah.
now. It's now. Back then, it was very simple. It was very
And
everything.
It's not like a franchise league. It's an
No,
open
no,
league.
no,
So
no.
everyone can make a team and get you can you could do Brawl Stars tournaments in app and end up being at Worlds if your team does good enough. I could make a team with you, me, and somebody else right now. Clash of Clans, same thing. You get a golden ticket, you go to Worlds. It's just
like,
any team that you make up. It's just like that's how it should be, and they don't plan on doing it any other way.
I'm gonna be honest. I think as a whole, mobile gaming feels a lot like the gaming I used to know.
Yeah, it's like it's still grassroots.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of.
like, it's not everything has to be photorealistic. Stuff is optimized. It actually works. Nowadays, it's all big and massive and can barely run on a computer, even for multiplayer games, which is the worst. Dude, I don't care how good your freaking game looks. Just make the game fun. Don't force me to buy a new machine every freaking year. Anything. Like, don't force me. What you should do, you bring up assembly. Honestly, I'd be okay if people just programmed games in that and just forgot about engines. Because for some reason, every time they use an engine, stuff falls apart. I've had that experience
And they're like,
myself.
gotta get a 3080.
It's like, dude,
Play the
that is not how
Gotta
things
get a
should
new
be.
CPU and a 3080.
Well,
Otherwise,
think about how worse it is for
can't do anything.
the pro gamer guys.
Oh yeah, because they gotta have top. Of the line.
they gotta have top of the line machines, or they have to get like the latest console or whatever. And I mean, like, and not only that, think about it for COD League, because I'm pretty sure didn't they have like consoles as their primary like machines that they used?
They just recently switched to PCs just now.
Okay, so think about that for a second.
They were
So,
doing PlayStation. They did Xbox, and then they did PlayStation for like
PS.
ever.
Let's say the PS5 has been scalped to it's like $1,000. So what do? The scalpers come in. They bring the price up to like $1,000.
Well, COD League's gonna be able to like afford it.
It's just, I guess what I'm saying is it's kind of stupid.
It is stupid.
You're basically gatekeeping via hardware.
But what we're saying is gamers like the thought of when I'm watching people play, I like the thought of, man, if I got a team together, I would at least have
Yeah.
access to go. I mean, I'll go to a tournament and get smoked, but at least I can go play at those
No,
tournaments.
it's a homey
Like it's
thing.
like with COD, it's like, yeah, unless you get picked up by a pro team, you're never gonna be there or competing against.
Well, it feels accessible. You don't need some audience to.
Same thing with League. League is like, well, hopefully one of the 8 pro teams, pick you up. Otherwise, you're never playing. Or 10. I think it's 10. Hopefully, one of the 10 pro teams pick you up. Otherwise, you're never gonna play professionally in the pro leagues. We don't want that. Nobody wants that.
No,
Nobody.
I think it's a stupid.
Ever wanted that.
I think it's a stupid concept, in my opinion. It's like, dude, nobody cares about all these stupid sponsorships. Just here's an idea. Just put the freaking prize pool money in there. Donate to a charity or something. There you go. And not only that, you get publicity for your game.
Yeah.
Good publicity. Your company's trusted. Over. Specifically, the freaking just giving them the money. That's it. Just put the money prize up there. Make your guys do it.
Yeah.
Great advertising. People like your game. Also, a second thing. Don't freaking not. Secondly, optimize your game. It's not hard to do. It's literally, dude, it's not that hard to do. Just don't spaghetti code it. If someone wants to play your multiplayer game and have it run smoothly, you should like they shouldn't have to spend probably like billions of dollars trying to get things working.
It depends on what we're talking about. You should be able to play on low graphics and be able to at least able to have it function properly.
And also, don't use an engine that's buggy.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that stuff, but
as a man who's been through that battle, don't use an engine that's buggy. Don't use an engine that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, bugs happening are fine.
Bugs are fine, but don't let it.
I mean, as long as you fix them,
Don't let it be like Warzone 1 days where you freaking had guns textures misplaced, displace and glitch around. And someone actually made
glitch,
that.
That glitch was unreal.
And you know what's sad about that? I've never played any game with that issue except Call of Duty. I've literally never.
It was just Warzone too.
Yeah, you could just play multiplayer, but for some reason Warzone.
That was.
How do you?
Funny.
First off,
how? Such a funny glitch. I remember just sitting there and being like, "Oh, my gun is just a blob of specks."
And you know what's funny? I know exactly where that comes from. I know exactly why that's happening. It's because back when I was a kid, you used to have a texture called a displacement map. It would add more detail, on top of the thing, and it would mold the gun a little bit into a shape, kind of. And if you messed up on the settings on that, it would wig out like crazy. It would go. It would literally stretch.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it would stretch around. It probably is that because I would experiment around with those textures. The model would go. It would look like a spiky ball. It was terrible.
It probably is some form of that.
Yeah, it was terrible, dude. It was, and I'm thinking in my head, how have they gotten? Dude, I was 13 when I did that. I'm thinking, how are these grown men who have made games for probably decades longer than I did have that issue?
Good question, Seth.
That dude, and if that's what I'm saying is, and we're getting towards the end, but the catch-22 of this entire thing, is that. Guess what? If you try to be corporate with video games, rush crap, ruin competitive esports by making it too corporate, or make organizations, or ruin game engines, or any of that stuff, guess what? You basically are killing gaming. You essentially should not be there. You shouldn't be allowed to be in the landscape of gaming. It's literally... you are the cancer of gaming. You ruined gaming. Good job. You ruined it. Now the freaking indie game devs have to come in and do patchwork when this shouldn't even be a thing. You should be doing just as good as they are. Just as good as they are with the tournaments and stuff and all that. Everything... What I'm saying is everything links together if you have a multifaceted game. And if none of those... If one of those... parts of your game isn't working well, nobody's going to like your game. So
True.
if you're not going to support tournaments, if you're not going to support fans doing whatever they want with it and helping the community, in the case of modders with Melee, massively helping the community, why are you restricting all these people? They actually all work together in a fine line. Same with speedruns. They have codes on emulators where you can jump to specific areas in the game so you can practice that thing without beating the game.
Yeah.
And you can just teleport with no loading screens or anything. Like, people don't understand that every facet of gaming is connected in some way.
That is true.
And
that
if
is
you,
a valid
if you
point.
can't hit on all those spots, nobody cares. So
Yeah, that's true, because if one thing is like rotting, diseased flesh, it's gonna spread.
that's exactly why old Halo and old COD.
Doesn't matter if you think it's if you think it's unattached.
You're like,
or
oh, this is
if the
not,
esports.
isn't a big
The
deal.
esports sucks. The game suffers.
Yep. If
the multiplayer sucks,
game suffers.
Esports suffers.
Yes. Not the campaigns. Those are
There's
actually
glitches that could one game breaking glitch can cause the
dude,
people to suffer. I'm laughing about that fractal thing now because it's funny to think about. But at the time, if I was trying to clutch out and all of a sudden my gun expands to like 18 million fractals and I can't ADS, when I'm about to kill people, I'm ticked. At that point, I am ticked. So yeah, I agree, Seth. That's a good. Oh, that is a good point to end on with that. But I gotta say this real quick. Just giving some news on this. Bobby Big Balls, our boy,
is he moving up in the world or
banned?
Why?
He got flat out banned from Melee events, and he's banned indefinitely on Twitch.
What did he do? Something?
He went to a he was IRL streaming, and he went to buy a bottle of wine from a gas station. And he took a sip of the bottle of wine in it while he was in his car, and then put it away, and then everybody's freaking out about it.
Because he took one sip?
Even though he wasn't drunk, he had a sip. He just had one. Because he was in his vehicle, Twitch banned him.
You think,
and
so that's...
In the Melee community, which was kind of ticky. Melee community in some ways is super holier than thou. But they were like, "Oh yeah, like wait, like you need to go to AA. It's like, dude, he took a sip of alcohol.
It's like, bro,
he shouldn't. Yeah, that's stupid. But it's like he wasn't drunk.
No, I think
he wasn't driving. He took one sip while he was in his car. You're encouraging people to drink and drive. It's like you're an idiot.
Okay, yeah, that.
That's
one sip of a wine bottle in a car.
A sip, one sip,
and he's banned. That's what banned him.
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna see if he tweeted real quick just to see how he's doing.
Dude, that's so stupid.
Because his tweets were like, I would have been. Imagine that, dude. It's been his whole life. Bailey's his life, dude.
Yeah.
So this is what he said. Oh, this is the actual clip. I gotta see that. I don't know. I haven't watched this.
You know, my car's pretty old, but I ain't got no dents in this bitch. Yeah, you know the fucking vibe.
So that's why they banned him.
That's it. Yep, he took a sip.
I'm feeling like Michael Jackson, man. I'm feeling like the king of pop. Right?
But why?
Yeah, he took a sip. He took a sip.
Bro, you know what? You know what they should do? Someone needs to make an opposing platform to Twitch, like an actual.
So you saw what you saw that clip. This is what somebody tweeted about him. Bobby Big Ball streamed himself drinking and driving last night. Simply astonishing stuff. Get this dude out of our community. First off, he wasn't drinking and driving. Some dumb idiot named Josh Frederick or some idiot.
Oh, notice something. Listening to the Twitter crowd.
Oh, someone said then he muted the conversation because people defending drinking and driving is absurd.
Bro, Okay, so explain this to me,
He had a sip of alcohol.
bro.
Am I out of touch here?
No, you're not out of touch.
Like,
Listen,
what? People drink. You're legally allowed to. There's a legal limit to drinking and driving. He's legally allowed to drink and drive at that point.
yes, he drank one sip. If he was down in the
Now,
whole freaking bottle,
I think what they're saying is because his car's parked. By the way, he's not driving. I think because he's actually in his vehicle is what everybody's freaking out about.
Dude,
Which still is.
if he downed the full bottle, yeah, but he just drank a sip.
And he said, "Surely, this is Bobby Big Ball's tweets. Surely, one singular sip of my 12% wine on my 3-minute drive home from 7-Eleven doesn't classify as drunk driving." He goes, "As a streamer, I'm wrong, and I will take responsibility for my actions. And if the community wants to ban me, I will humbly oblige. I am not a role model."
No, duh. Like, how
He's
do
like,
these
please
people...
don't. He's like, please don't accept my internet personality as such. I stream to make people smile through entertainment. I am not meant to be a beacon of morals and values. I am just me. And then he said, "Feel nothing like the king of pop anymore. Twitch ban is indefinite, which means you won't see me at any tourneys online or offline."
Bro, someone
Rip
needs...
Bobby Big Balls.
Someone needs to make an opposing platform to Twitch and clean up all this crap. You're telling me you're going to allow hot tub streamers on the platform, but some guy who took one freaking sip from a wine bottle in his car is banned? So you're okay with having literal porn on this website?
It's the double stand. It's like the double standard. It's like triple standards.
Unbelievable.
He goes, "I know some people find joy in my moronic demise, but this crap is actually a nightmare for me to lose 8 years of hard work at 25, one sip for not using my brain, having nothing to do with Smash. I know I streamed it, and so clearly it's my absolute fault. Just depressing, man."
First off,
He hasn't tweeted since.
no, you know what he should have done? This is what someone, like I said, opposing platform. Get an opposing platform to Twitch. Make something. This is what I would have done if I was an executive. I would pick him up. I would make an opposing platform to Twitch, and then I'd be like, "Hey, you can go on here. We're not allowing any of these sluts here. We're going to have people who, and if you see something like this, you're not going to ban someone for it. You're not going to ban someone for taking a sip of freaking wine in their car. A sip! Like I said, if he was drinking the whole bottle, just going like,
Yeah.
sure, but why would you ban him from the platform? It's not like kids are going to be like, dude, I totally want to drink and drive because Bobby Big Ball is totally just...
Yeah.
It's like this... Our
I don't think people understand what drinking and driving is. Like,
Yes.
I feel like if he wasn't in his car, people wouldn't be saying anything.
Yeah, and then he'd just be...
But because he was, and he was behind the wheel, people were like, "Oh my gosh!"
No,
Like, people pop road sodas all the time. I'm not saying you should,
I'm not saying
but I'm
that
saying
either,
like people drink a beer while they're driving
But this
all the
is,
time.
This is what I was going to say. So, this is why where the double standard thing comes into play as well. Not just that. Really what they're doing, you know what they're doing? They're white knighting so they don't get banned. That's what they're doing. They're white knighting so they can look amazing, and so these people can be like, dude, look at how cool he is. All they're doing is white knighting. That's what they're doing. They don't care about this actual thing, the people in the community. They just want they want the likes for their tweets and stuff and attention. That's all it's for.
Tweets to their twerk.
Dude, my tweet, man, it got a 10K likes because I said this one thing. Oh, it's like people are so
ruin a guy's life.
oh, like so.
My boy Bobby Big Balls can't compete in tournaments anymore. His whole livelihood's over.
What kind of mental defect do you have?
How much you want to bet if that was a different player under different circumstances?
They
Nobody
wouldn't
would have
care.
cared.
No.
People just don't like Bobby.
No, dude. He's a smaller player. You can't. And that's how it is, dude.
And he's edgier. He's always been edgier.
Well, this is where it all comes together. Like I said, They want to look.
Yeah, he's got some edge to him.
The Melee players, have some of them gotten against him? Have some of them said things against him?
Oh, before this, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he got banned off Twitter for making a joke about homosexuals. Or he's also not against gay people at all, like literally at all. But nobody looks at the actual facts. They're just like, huh?
Bro,
you said this thing one time?
Let me be honest. Let me be honest. This is about as political as I'll get. If someone doesn't agree with what you believe in, who cares? Get over it. If someone wants to disagree with something, that's okay. That doesn't mean they don't like the people. Go ahead. Do whatever you want. You're your own person. That's your thing.
Dude, here's the deal. No one... Like, we're not in charge of your life, bro.
No. So
Bobby Big Balls is not in charge of your life. He said a joke. People should be able to disagree with it. But Bobby wasn't even... He was just saying a joke, so he wasn't even disagreeing. He was just saying a joke. People should be able to agree and disagree and still like each other.
Oh my gosh, yes. That doesn't mean you hate people. That doesn't mean you hate people. That goes
on everybody's side. That goes for everybody.
Everybody's side.
All be able to be mature enough.
Yes.
I'm not trying to be, in the middle here. I'm just saying, like...
No, I agree.
We should all be able to disagree, but still be kind and loving to one another.
Yes,
100%.
Let's be loving to one another. And
doesn't matter if you disagree with someone's lifestyle.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if you disagree with their humor. Doesn't mean if you disagree with their...
Why, you shouldn't hate people for what they believe. Anyone. You shouldn't hate them.
That too, yeah.
You shouldn't hate people for what they believe.
There should be no harbored bad feelings for someone because they believe in something different.
If someone disagrees with you, guess what? That's what life is. You're going to see that everywhere. And if you can't deal with that,
who cares?
You got some problems.
You should be able to put that aside and be kind to one another.
I'm not sitting here saying, be rude to each other. Just get over it.
Yeah.
But that's what people misinterpret so many times.
I just feel like but I feel like sometimes I wonder if it's because we're in a space that has a lot of young people in it, that might be somewhat of why we're seeing that more, because I feel like people that are my age tend to be more
lenient about it. Yeah,
not even lenient. They tend to be more accepting of we disagree, but you're still cool. So
people have differences.
You can still be cool with each other and disagree on any facet of life.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I guess what I'm saying is it all, like I said, it all comes back to the main thing here: corporations. That's what they're doing. Corporations are controlling these people. They are. I don't want to sound like Mr. Look at this conspiracy theorist, man. I don't want to sound like Alex Jones over here. and man, this is gonna be an interesting part of the episode. But what I'm saying is they are definitely, the second they see something that's a no-no, like we said, we even put it earlier. We had said this. You shouldn't have to if something's a no-no, they just ban the person. Like this podcast, we're probably gonna have to edit down some things too, just because.
I said some swear words that we're gonna have to cut out.
Yeah, there's some stuff we're gonna have to cut out.
Yeah.
If you have an opinion on something, you should not be able to. You should be able to express it, but no, you can't. You can't express it even in the space of freaking gaming, where people say horrible things, supposedly horrible things in COD chat all the time.
Oh yeah.
Hasn't
changed a bit.
People don't realize that that's not how people are, and they're not just being mean all the time. They're not all mean. They're just goofing around, dude.
90% of the time, I don't feel like those people are saying that stuff in real life.
No.
It's just what the culture is. And you can say it's bad and toxic.
You can say it's bad and toxic, but
it's like League too. It's just I just enjoy that atmosphere.
Do not push
on games. I enjoy people being like, "F you," that kind of stuff.
It's funny. It's back when and that never changes. It never has changed. It's never changed and never will change. It never will. Because Blizzard's too lazy to moderate their stuff. And you know what's funny? These corporations, speaking of Blizzard, before we end this off, they're white knighting for things, and they say horrible, horrible things and abuse women. So keep that in mind.
100%.
Second off, same with Halo Infinite. they will also get mad at people. Guess what they did? Very, very. I'm not going to describe it here because freaking the internet is so uninviting. But let's just say, the month Juneteenth, they posted a very controversial emblem that like looked like a monkey and was a literal gorilla. I'm not kidding. That's actually what they did on Juneteenth, the day where the slaves were freed, and they're like, "Oh, it's an accident! Crap! It was an accident."
How is that an accident?
And
there's no way that's an accident.
I know. It's like, dude, what are you talking about?
What a piece of trash. What pieces of
trash?
trash?
Yeah, the pieces of trash. Notice they go for their like high and mighty attitude with everything else, but they come in and like, man,
what company was this?
It was 343. They always, dude, they always freaking sit there.
How would it
pretend
possibly be an accident?
But
How could that possibly
we stand
be
with,
an accident?
you know, like
Ukraine
and all this stuff, and they pretend they're beacons of like hope and light, and then
how could you possibly say that's an accident?
It's terrible.
That is just
what idiot.
Did you think we were gonna think that was funny? Like,
no, that's not funny.
There is a limit. Like, there is a limit.
Yes,
you know.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Probably it. That's probably it.
There's a limit. There is a massive limit, and they cross the line. And they're talking about people crossing the line. They're like, "Oh, you crossed the line. You know, you guys did. You pushed us too hard. You pushed us too hard with our game development or whatever."
You know what line I would like you to cross? I'd like you to make the crossover to making a good game.
Yes,
I'd like you to cross
make a good
that
game.
line.
Here's what you should do: shut up and make a good game. Shut up.
Yeah. Fix Halo. Shut up and fix
Just
Halo.
like Bungie did. Just like with every company. I'm saying this to every company.
No one gives a crap about what you think politically.
No,
I don't care
no one
about
cares.
what you're doing. I don't
Nobody-
care which side of the war you're on.
Nobody
I don't
cares.
Care. I want you to make a
No.
good Halo, and I want you to shut up, because go share your like weird political comments on Facebook where your like good buddies who know you will read it, and they'll also not care.
It's like
No one on the internet cares what you're saying. We want you to make a good game and shut up.
Yes,
That's
shut
it.
up, make a good game. Stop
And
interfering.
I'm not saying that in some sort of way of like, just like when I'm at work, I repair Chromebooks right now. When I'm at work, people want me to repair Chromebooks and shut up.
Yes.
And I understand that.
Yes, you don't sit there spouting
When I was cutting
your
hair,
ideologies.
yes, when you cut hair, you're like talking, but it's like mostly they want you to cut their hair and
Guess
shut
what?
up.
If someone asks you for their opinion, they can tell you it. But if they don't, shut up. Like don't. That is
Especially when you're screaming into the void of the internet.
Yeah,
no one cares.
You're like, it's like, dude, nobody cares. The only person who actually cares is Twitter, and the very small group of people that get triggered by that.
And they're all just virtue signaling each other.
Oh, that's all they're doing. Oh yes, Queen.
You did this, and they're like, well, you did this.
Guess what?
You did a tweet in 2007 that said that you like balls and wiener, but you don't actually. It's like,
you're against our
okay.
You're against our ideology? What?
You said Merry Christmas.
You said Merry
15
Christmas.
years ago.
How dare you? Merry Christmas. Merry freaking Christmas. That's the problem. That's the thing you target. Someone saying Merry Christmas. There's nothing political about that. There's nothing political about it. It's a holiday.
Dude, we should just start a political podcast because we're going on a rant.
Oh, I know, dude. The amount of the second
Who
I
even
said,
knows how much of this is even gonna make?
yeah, dude. The cuts. Like, this will probably make it into like some political podcast if we ever did. We'll just be there. If only there was a safe space to just talk about whatever you wanted.
Space?
Not even a safe space, just a place where anyone could say what they.
I was just joking. I was just.
Or what I'm saying is, anyone could freaking talk. If people could just talk.
Realistically, a safe space would be a place where everybody's safe.
Yes, where people can
Anyway,
actually speak. Yeah. Oh, the amount of cuts.
We
in
are
this
getting
episode.
There's gonna be so many cuts going on.
Oh yeah.
So God bless
God
everybody.
bless. The cuts are. This is gonna
Every
be,
single person. God bless you.
Agreed.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.